Guys, so a bunch of you have asked about the Library from Hell story before, and I feel like I gave like the Cliff Notes version one time on here, but didn't like really go into it. If I did, I apologize, but I feel like I still need to get around to it because I can never remember for certain which stories I've told on here and which ones I haven't. I feel like I still need to on this one, so if I have, apologies for hearing it twice, but if I haven't, then I'm finally getting around to this to answer that question for those of you who are wondering about it. So, the Library from Hell story. Basically this happened, let's see, I think, like, 3 years ago, I think? We're in 2016? 3 years ago. It was right after my grandpa died. I had like well, actually, let me backpedal a little further before that. I had been working my way through, getting back on track to speed reading, and had, like, started out very gradually with just, like, a few books checked out at a time, and, like, each time I went back, I'd add one more book to what I got the previous time, and do the math of page count-wise, how many pages did I need to read a day through this batch to finish all the books in the accounted time that I had them for, and I continued doing this until I got to where I had, like, I want to say 32 or 33 books out on this particular occasion. Yeah, I know, it's kind of impressive, but, I have not replicated that since, by the way. But, anyway, so I had all these books out, and this was during the time period when my grandpa was living with us at the end of his life. He lived with us for, I think, 5 months, I think? Somewhere thereabouts. But yeah, so I was doing a lot of reading during that period since it was a quiet activity that didn't bother him or anything. It's kind of a weird time. Not necessarily bad, just different. But anyway, so I had all these books out, right? And he died very suddenly and unexpectedly. Like, he was perfectly fine the night before, and next morning he was just dead. Granted, he was not, like, almost 95. He was a couple months away from turning 95, but yeah, just that fast. So naturally, that kind of turned things on their head and really just threw us for a loop. And we had family coming out here for the funeral, and my aunt came out from Arizona and everything, and apparently, as it turns out, in all the years we've lived in this house, she had never seen my bedroom, which at that point was in the infancy of being the train wreck that it is today. I'm like, dude, if I knew then what I know now, I would have much happier let her see the room then than I would today. It's gotten so much worse, it's ridiculous. I really need to get on that. But, that aside, she was, like, hell-bent on seeing this frickin' room before she left at, like, the end of the week or 2 weeks, however long it was she was out here for. And I just had to figure out a way to make it even semi-presentable enough for her to come in here. So I did a lot of cramming of things into the closets and into my bathroom and told her, yeah, you can peek in the door of the bathroom and no further, because I had so much crap jammed behind the door, just stacked almost to the ceiling, just because I needed somewhere to put it where it's, like, out of sight, out of mind. I'm still actually putting stuff away from that. But yeah, anyway, so that's terrible to admit. This is, like, almost 3 years later. It'll be 3 years in February, but, yeah, it's bad. I know, it's bad. But anyway, that is not the point of the story. The point of the story is that in all that rush, I jammed those 32, 33 books into my closet. Like, they were the first things in. And I just piled shit in there, and they got shoved to the back under this mountain of stuff. And just with the high emotions and everything that was going on, I, honest to God, forgot they were in there. Like, 100% forgot. And even after my aunt had seen the room, I just kind of left things as they were at that point, and didn't really properly take things back out, put them away, or anything else. Because depression's a bitch. I mean, that's why it got bad in the first place, because my depression had spiraled really bad when my grandma died, a few months prior, and then this just sent it careening off the rails, which is why it's still as bad as it is now, because this is still the after effects. I have never 100% pulled myself out of that depression. But again, not the point of the story. The point of the story is that the stuff in the closet where I put the books, I did not go back through there for like another 6 months. Now, just pause and appreciate how many books I had out. Think of how overdue they were by that point. Now think of how high that fine was. Oh yes, I have never, ever seen a library fine as high as this. And as it turns out, through some Googling, I might quite possibly hold a world record for the highest library fine ever. Which is not a thing to be proud of. I think there was like one person that had a higher one, but still, second place is not a thing you want to have. It was so bad. I had completely forgotten until I got an email from the library with like what the fine was currently up to at that point. And it was like over $600. I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god, I tore through that closet so fast to tear those out of there. I was just like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I have to pay this? Do I just like never ever go back again and get a library card for a different library and just try to pretend this never happened and just hang on to these books? Or what do I do? And I asked this question online, and some people said that a lot of libraries have what's called a what is it? Not forgiveness, but basically means the same thing. I'm having a brain fart, but basically, like a certain day of the year where if you come in on that day and bring the books, no matter how overdue they are, they will waive your fine and just pretend it didn't happen and wipe your account clean. I called our library to inquire about that, and there is no such program at ours. Fucking of course, because we are an unincorporated town, we don't have city funding for our library, so figures. So I'm trying to figure out, what the fucking shit do I do? So I figured, I'll just hold on to these for now, because if I'm gonna have to pay that huge of a fine, I may as well keep them, since I obviously paid for them. And if I just never go back, then I guess I'll keep them anyway. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I don't even really want some of these books that bad to keep forever. So just on a whim, like another 6 months down the line, I had my sister bring one back just to see what would happen. And the fine on that book went from the whatever insane number it was for that one individual book down to $6. Just the overdue fee where it tops out. Apparently our overdue fees in and of themselves cap out at $6 at this library. And after that, if you keep it out much longer, then they slap you with the replacement fee. But if the book comes back, they waive the replacement fee. And they waived that. And I was like, oh my god. Even at $6 a pop, that's still expensive, but that's still a shit ton better than paying the replacement fees on all of those plus the late fees. So right after that, it's like, okay, time to start shuttling the books back to the library. And I did that, except there was a couple that I was like, I'm kind of attached to them at this point. I'll keep these. I'll just pay on them and keep them. So I did that actually on a couple of them, and I still have them. But the grand majority I was able to bring back and wipe out most of that fine, thank God, but it was still I think $140, $150 something. I don't know. It was some weird number. What is 6 times 32 or 33, depending. You can do the math on either. That's how much was left of the fine. I am really bad at math. I may be a mile off. I don't know. But regardless, I chipped away at the fine a little bit every month till I got it paid off, and then I was so leery to go back, so I was like, oh god, what if I walk through the door and they, send a security guard on me, because holy shit, she's that girl who screwed us over on that many books. Like, we always looked at her suspiciously for checking out that many books at a time, but then she screwed us over. Like, I had all these ridiculous paranoias going through my head to where I just plain did not even go back for like a year. And when I did, I only checked out like 2 books because I was so fucking scared. But they never like said a word to me about it. By that point, I don't think they even still remembered me because it'd been long enough and I had chopped my hair since the last time they'd seen me. They had seen me when I still had the long hair. So, yeah, that probably helped. The irony in this story. You would think I would have learned my lesson from all this, right? I still have 2 of those books out that I checked out in May. So I currently have a fine of over $60. Because I'm a friggin' retard. But, at least I know now that as soon as the books go back, most of that fee goes away, and I'm okay with paying $6. I'm like, just for the convenience of not having to worry about the late fee, or I mean when they have to go back, fuck it, I'll just pay the $6 on them whenever I'm done. I'll bring them back when I bring them back. But, yeah, I probably should try to get around to reading and reviewing those sooner rather than later so that I can fix that. Also, interestingly, my library card expired since checking those books out, and I'm like, I guess when I bring the latter of the 2 back, I'll see about seeing if they'll let me get a new one, or do whatever you do when one expires. I don't really know what happens at that point. I don't think I've gone consistently enough since they have had the new library to where I've had to deal with this. So I don't know what they do after when it expires. I don't know if you get a new card. I don't know if they just swipe it through a machine and you get a new number or date or whatever on it. I don't know. I have no idea. But, yeah, I don't know if it'll be a problem that I have an outstanding fine when it comes time to do that, because I can't run home, pay the fine, and then come back, like, in the same day and check out more books, and my dad is going to know something is up if I go there, bring the book back, get a new library card, but don't check anything out. That would send up major red flags, and I have quite cautiously told him nothing about the library fine from hell, because I managed to deal with it 100% on my own without his aid. Even though he probably would have just thought I'm a freaking tard if I had told him about it. He probably would have said, well, just don't fucking go to the library. And it probably would have been his answer, because he's had outstanding fines. Like, his theory is, if you go 7 years without paying it, they write it off, but that is very much not true, because I had an outstanding fine when I got the current library card, from when I was about 16 years old, and it was still there when I got the card, so I had to pay that right off the bat before I could check anything out. It was bullshit, but I mean, especially because it was his fault that I had that fine. That one wasn't even on me. He left him in the trunk of his car and never brought him to the library to return. That was his bad, but, yeah, this one is like, I swept it under the rug that I managed to deal with that fine on its own, and that now I have another ridiculous fine because I'm stupid, so... What even is my life? I don't know. Clearly, I don't learn from my mistakes. I think we have well established that one at this point, but... So yeah, that's the library fine from hell story. For those of you who were still wondering about it, if anybody was still wondering about it at this point, I don't know. But, yeah. Moral of the story, do not let your books get that ridiculously, overdue. Even though I obviously did not learn the moral from my own story, and did it again. At least it was only with 3 this time, but I brought 1 back already and paid the fine on that. I just gotta do the other 2 now, but anyway, like I said, that's the story, so hopefully it lived up to your hopes and dreams what this story was, because a bunch of you were asking me about it, so anyway, that's that. So, anyway, as usual, if y'all like the video, click the like button. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, leave comments down below, and until next time, bye!